SuperCars exposed. We need your car.
Today I hope to find out if my 850 horsepower loaner just might be the perfect Porsche. I've come to Arizona on a quest to find out if a tuned Porsche is as much fun on the road as it is on the track.
Horsepower doesn't mean anything if you can't actually get it to the ground and get the car to the finish line.
I'll bring it back in one piece, I hope.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Porsche can make a great car. Porsche turbos are the benchmark that other makes are most often compared to. Of course, a well-tuned Porsche pushes the envelope even further. But can this ultimate daily driver be daily driven? One of the most respected Porsche tuners is Evolution MotorSports in Tempe, Arizona. They just might have built the perfect Porsche. In my opinion, it'd have to be more than just a race car with license tags. So I jumped at the invitation to drive their tuned 997 Turbo on the Bondurant performance driving track near Phoenix. Evolution MotorSports' Todd Zaccone was waiting for me with the keys.
I see EVT850 written there, so is that horsepower numbers? Or
850 is about 850 horsepower on race gas, about 790 on pump gas.
So not just a little?
Not just a little.
If 790 is not enough, then you can always go spend $100 on a tank of fuel and get that extra 60 horsepower.
Exactly.
Will you feel the extra 60?
Yeah, will.
You like that?
You know what, I did some investigating and I understand this is your wife's car.
It is my wife's car. I have to admit, yes.
Okay, if there's anybody else there who has a wife, an 800 horsepower Porsche and a track at your disposal, I'm right here. Find us. SuperCars exposed. Google it or something, but we need your car. Thank you, and thank your wife for me.
I will.
I'll bring it back in one piece, I hope. Cool.
You like that?
It's gonna be fast. The question is if it's got the total package.
It's safe to say that Todd and his crew have invested long hours building and tuning the engine of this 997 on the dyno. While adjustments were made for altitude and drivability, the ultimate goal was to raise the car's usable horsepower. The mother SuperCars exposed stats for what Todd calls the EVT850 tells us that we might spend about $60,000 over the cost of a new stock turbo. So go ahead and buy that race gas, at least when there's an open track like this one. While I have this EVT850, Todd is driving a 996 Turbo, Evolution MotorSports' tuning success story from the previous generation of Porsches. Now seems like a pretty good time to chase down that Corvette Z06 with Bondurant stickers all over it. The driver seems to know his way around, but with 850 horsepower, how could I go wrong?
It feels solid, robust, it's easy to drive. But once you start sliding it, once you start really pushing it hard, that's when the hairy beast comes out. The all-wheel drive system, it's bizarre. At first it feels like rear-wheel drive and the car starts to slide predictably like a rear-wheel drive car, and it feels nice. And then when you're in your moment of glory and the smoke is starting to build and you're starting to feel a little bit refreshed, that's when the all-wheel drive system comes in and messes it all up.
In reality, this clearly isn't a drift car, it's a grip car. We've only scratched the surface of this car's capabilities, but of course the day is still young.
Fun stuff in this car, I'm telling you, this thing is good on the track. I can't imagine having this much power out on the road, you know. It's addicting.
Tanner continued his quest for the perfect Porsche in Arizona.
The guys from Bondurant hooked us up with their neighbor Firebird Raceway so we could find out which of the two Porsches was quicker to the quarter mile.
Two most important things here at Firebird Raceway. Number one is safety. Number two is have a good time.
Have you done this before?
Never.
Okay, I've been on a drag strip before, but I'm not particularly good at it. We've got red Porsche with how much power?
660.
660, and this one running
850,
right? Isn't this a game of sandbagging? I'm pretty sure.
You know it is. It's interesting. You watch a drag race, and like I said, a lot of drag racing is won on the starting line. Reaction time makes a huge difference. Horsepower doesn't mean anything if you can't actually get it to the ground and get the car to the finish line.
Okay, well, let's do it.
Trash talking aside, my EVT850 has a bit more money invested in the upgrades than the 996's proven package. The Mother SuperCars exposed stats for the EVOMS 996 tell us that it makes about 200 more horsepower than a stock 2003 996 turbo, and about 100 less than the EVT850 that I'm driving. As Chuck told us, stats will give way to reaction time, which is the biggest factor in this Porsche matchup.
All right, here we go. And we're off. Good grip on the line there, second gear. Pulls hard. Third gear. Only gonna need fourth. There it is, that's it. Yeah, smoked him. 11 seconds, 134.8 miles an hour. Not bad for a street legal Porsche. Looks like Todd did a 12-second pass in his 996. That's awesome.
Still ahead, I'll get back to my roots in the good old Foust family car.
My dad bought a 76 912E, potentially one of the slowest Porsches ever made.
And then storm the Arizona roads in this Evolution MotorSports tuned turbo.
70 miles an hour is such a tease for this car.
Our experience on the Bondurant road course and Firebird drag strip confirms that the turbos from Evolution MotorSports are, surprise, fast. EVOMS caters to enthusiasts who want to extract all the power, the best braking and handling available. Our quest to see if the EVT850 is indeed the perfect Porsche, Todd Zuccone in the red 996 and I headed into the scenic mountains around Phoenix, which is a great place to feel the Porsche's roadworthiness.
If there's any car that you can slap 800 horsepower to and still have a great machine, it's a Porsche. There's something about the platform that's just very, very capable. The chassis can handle it, everything feels good, and the car is comfortable to drive. This car from EVOMS MotorSports feels like a daily driver. The mapping, the throttle is very smooth and subtle. Down the highway, it actually feels very nice, not too stiff. But I know that if I put my right foot in it, I am gone. Sounds like a good reason to go to Phoenix to me. So I just bought a Porsche. It was the car that got me into cars. It wasn't just the type of car, it was the actual car. My dad bought a 76 912E, potentially one of the slowest Porsches ever made, and needed some garage space. So I cleared out my garage and now have that car in my house. And I drive it, great cruising car. This Porsche, the EVOMS MotorSports Porsche, is nothing like that 912.
Even with the huge power that is somehow easily managed, can a car like this be called the perfect Porsche? Great in any driving environment? I think the jury's still out. Probably need a little bit more time behind the wheel.
70 miles an hour is such a tease for this car. I'm afraid I would get in way, way too much trouble if I owned one of these. It's dangerous for somebody like me. Maybe I need to be a little bit older, a little bit more mature. Just a brutal amount of force. You can hardly talk and experience that at the same time. It's just like, oh, and now the car is gonna accelerate. Like, awesome. So fast. I'm afraid I would get in way, way too much trouble if I owned one of these.